I'm 127 years old, and I'm about to tell you something that will make you angry. You've been lied to your entire life. Everything they taught you about happiness, about success, about what matters, it's all backwards. And I know this because I spent 90 years believing the same lies before I finally woke up. So sit down, be quiet, and listen to someone who's been on this earth longer than your grandparents have been alive. You want to know why you're miserable? I'll tell you exactly why. You think happiness is somewhere else. You think it's in the future, waiting for you like a package at the post office. You think once you get that promotion, once you meet that person, once you lose that weight, once you buy that house, then you'll finally be happy. And that's the biggest lie anyone ever told you, and you keep telling it to yourself every single morning when you wake up. I watch young people today, and I see the same stupidity I had when I was young. You're all running towards some imaginary finish line, and you don't even know what happens when you get there. You want to know what happens? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You get there, and you look around, and you realize you wasted years of your life chasing something that doesn't exist. Let me tell you what I know about hard times because I've had more than my share. I was born in 1898 in a village in Calabria so poor that we ate meat maybe twice a year if we were lucky. My father died when I was 3 years old, kicked in the head by a mule, and my mother raised 7 children by herself, working in other people's fields for pennies. When I was 7, I watched my baby sister die from a fever because we couldn't afford a doctor. I held her hand while she burned up from the inside, and there was nothing anyone could do. Nothing. I came to America in 1912 with my mother and my brothers, and we had nothing. We slept in a basement in the Lower East Side with rats running across our feet at night, and I worked 14 hours a day in a factory making pennies, and I was grateful for it because at least we were eating. Then I went to war. World War I. I was 19 years old and I saw things that would make you sick to your stomach. I watched my best friend, Tommy Rossini, get his legs blown off by a shell, and he screamed for his mother for 6 hours before he died because the medics couldn't get to him. I came home in 1919 and I had nightmares every single night for 20 years. But that's not even the worst of it. In 1923, I married Rosa. Beautiful Rosa with the long black hair and the voice that could make angels weep. We had 4 children together. 4 beautiful babies. And in 1929, when the Depression hit, I lost everything. My job, my savings, everything. We were so poor that my children went to bed hungry more nights than I can count, and there was nothing I could do about it. A man is supposed to feed his family, and I couldn't even do that. Then in 1942, my oldest son, Marco, he was 17 years old, he lied about his age and joined the army to help support the family. 6 months later, I got a telegram. Killed in action in North Africa. 17 years old, and I never even got to bury him. They sent me a flag and a medal, and that was supposed to make it better. Rosa never recovered. She cried every single day for the rest of her life. And in 1955, she had a stroke and died in my arms. I was 57 years old and I had lost my son and my wife, and I thought that's it, I'm done, life is over. But here's what nobody tells you about hard times, and this is the thing you need to write down and put on your wall and look at every single day. Hard times are not there to destroy you. Hard times are there to show you who you actually are. When everything is going well, when life is easy, you don't know yourself. You're just coasting. You're pretending. But when everything falls apart, when you lose everything, when you're standing in the ruins of your life, that's when you find out what you're made of. And most people, when they get to that moment, they give up. They decide that life beat them and they spend the rest of their days feeling sorry for themselves and blaming the world for their problems. And I almost did that. After Rosa died, I was so angry at God, at the world, at everything. I drank too much. I yelled at my remaining children. I pushed away everyone who tried to help me. I was a miserable, bitter old man, and I was only 57. Then one day, my daughter Maria, she came to visit me, and she brought her baby, my first grandchild, little Angela. And this baby, she looked at me with these big brown eyes and she smiled. And something broke inside me. I realized that this baby, this innocent little girl, she didn't deserve to grow up with a grandfather who was angry and bitter and mean. She deserved better. My other children deserved better. And Rosa, God rest her soul, she didn't marry a quitter. She married a man who could take a punch and get back up. So that day, I made a decision. I decided that I was going to honor Rosa's memory by being the man she fell in love with. The man who made her laugh, who worked hard, who loved his family. Not because the pain went away. The pain never went away. I still missed her every single day. I still missed Marco. But I decided that my pain wasn't going to poison everyone around me. And that's lesson number 1. And you better pay attention because this is the difference between people who make it and people who don't. You don't get to choose what happens to you, but you get to choose what you do about it. Every single day, you wake up and you make a choice. Are you going to let your circumstances control you, or are you going to control your circumstances? Most people never make that choice. They just react. Something bad happens and they fall apart. Something good happens and they're happy for a minute. They're like leaves blowing in the wind, no control, no direction, just reacting to whatever comes their way. And then they wonder why their life is a mess. Your life is a mess because you never took control of it. You never decided who you were going to be. You just let life push you around like a coward. I'm going to tell you about Josephine. In 1958, I met her at my daughter's wedding. She was a widow, 52 years old, and she had the kindest eyes I'd ever seen. We started talking and we talked for 3 hours, and for the first time since Rosa died, I felt like maybe I could be happy again. We got married 6 months later, and people talked. Oh, they talked. They said I was disrespecting Rosa's memory. They said it was too soon. They said Josephine was only after my money, which was ridiculous because I didn't have any money. You know what I told them? I told them that Rosa would want me to be happy. That she wouldn't want me to spend the rest of my life alone and miserable. And if they didn't like it, they could stay home. Josephine and I had 42 years together. 42 beautiful years. We traveled. We laughed. We built a life together. She died in 2000, and I held her hand just like I held Rosa's hand, and I told her thank you for giving me a second chance at happiness. And here's lesson number 2, and this one is going to make some of you uncomfortable, but I don't care because it's the truth. Stop caring what other people think about your life. They're not living it. You are. At some point, you have to decide that your happiness is more important than their opinions. Because their opinions don't pay your bills. Their opinions don't keep you warm at night. Their opinions don't make you happy. The only thing their opinions do is make you small and scared and miserable. And if you let other people's opinions run your life, you will wake up at 80 years old and realize you never actually lived. You just performed for an audience that didn't even care about you. After Josephine died, I thought I was done. I was 102 years old. I'd buried 2 wives, a son, countless friends. I thought this is it, I'll just wait to die. But then something happened. My great-great-granddaughter, Emma, she was born. And when they put that baby in my arms, something inside me woke up again. I looked at this tiny little person and I thought about all the things I wanted to tell her. all the things I learned. And I realized I wasn't done yet. I still had work to do. I started writing everything down. Every lesson, every story, every piece of wisdom I'd collected in over a century of living. And I'm still doing it today. Because here's what I finally understood at 102 years old. Your purpose isn't something you find. Your purpose is something you create. Every single day, you get to decide what your life means. Most people think meaning comes from big things. Important jobs, big achievements, fame, fortune. And that's garbage. Complete garbage. You know what gives life meaning? The small things. The everyday things. This morning, I had coffee and I watched the sunrise through my window. That's meaning. Yesterday, Emma called me and told me about her day at school. That's meaning. Last week, I made pasta from scratch like my mother taught me 120 years ago. That's meaning. Meaning is not somewhere else. It's not in the future. It's right here, right now, in the ordinary moments of your ordinary life. But you have to pay attention. You have to wake up and actually see what's in front of you. And most people don't. Most people are so busy looking at their phones, so busy worrying about tomorrow, so busy comparing themselves to everyone else, that they miss their entire life. Let me tell you the truth about happiness, and this is going to sound too simple, but it's true. Happiness is noticing. That's it. That's the whole secret. It's noticing the good things that are already in your life. The warm bed you slept in. The food in your refrigerator. The people who love you. The fact that you woke up this morning breathing. Most people have everything they need to be happy right now today, but they can't see it because they're too busy wanting more. They think happiness is addition. Get more money, more success, more stuff, more. But happiness is actually subtraction. It's removing the noise, the comparisons, the expectations, the lies you tell yourself about what you need. And when you strip all that away, what's left is usually pretty damn good. I'm 127 years old and I'm happy. Not because my life was easy. My life was hard. Not because I'm special. I'm not special. I'm happy because I decided to be happy. Every morning when I wake up, and believe me at 127 that's not guaranteed, I say thank you. Thank you for another day. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my memories. Thank you for the sunrise. Thank you for the coffee. Thank you for everything. And that gratitude, that simple practice of noticing what's good instead of what's bad, that changed everything. Here's what I want you to do right now. Stop watching this video. Look around you. Find 3 things you're grateful for. Not big things. Small things. The chair you're sitting in. The device you're watching this on. The air in your lungs. Just 3 things. And tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you do anything else, find 3 more things. Do that every single day for the rest of your life, and I promise you, everything changes. Because gratitude is like a light switch. You flip it on and suddenly you can see all the good things that were there all along, hiding in the darkness of your complaints and your worries and your fears. I've lived through 2 world wars, the Great Depression, the loss of children, the loss of wives, the loss of almost everything you can lose. And I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, from 127 years of experience, life is beautiful. Not perfect. Beautiful. With all the pain, all the loss, all the heartbreak, it's still beautiful. Because the alternative is nothing. And nothing is not better than something, even when something is hard. You're alive right now. That's a miracle. You get to see another sunrise. You get to taste food. You get to love people. You get to laugh. You get to cry. You get to feel everything. And one day, maybe tomorrow, maybe in 50 years, you won't get to do any of that anymore. So stop wasting the time you have. Stop waiting for permission to be happy. Stop waiting for perfect circumstances. Choose joy today. Choose gratitude today. Choose life today. Because this moment right now is all you actually have. And it's enough. It's more than enough. It's everything.